On today's Cardinals Squad show, are the Arizona Cardinals actually ready to go, or will they regret missing out on Micah Parsons? A temperature check on Kyler Murray, and could Jonathan Gannon be the coach of the year? We're going to talk about all of that and much more next.
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Sponsored by Game Time. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
Welcome back into the Cardinals Squad Show. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show, and a credentialed Arizona sports media member. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals Squad Show your first listen here on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Don't forget the Locked On Cardinals Squad Show is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So click that follow or subscribe button to do what thousands of Cardinals fans have already done. You be coming every day and get locked in the Cardinals right here each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Joining me, as always, from your regularly scheduled Locked On Cardinals programming, my guy Alex Clancy, as well as former ASU offensive lineman, former NFL offensive lineman, and Super Bowl champion Jamil Douglas. What's up, fellas? How are we doing? We are on the precipice of college football starting up, Texas, Ohio State tomorrow, and then what feels like the dress rehearsal for the NFL in just one short week here.
Feeling good, man. Excited for the season. It's time. It's time. We're at the best time of the year.
Jamil talking about the preseason is like somebody who has to work with their ex. Like it was the funniest thing, dude. If you haven't watched it, all of our live stuff is on the Locked On Cardinals YouTube channel. There's a specific squad show channel. It's like he was working with his ex for a year at a restaurant and couldn't get away with it. Same schedule, same shifts, couldn't get away with it, was ready for it to be over.
Very tough. Very tough. I will say that.
Very tough.
Yeah,
I'm going to kind of flip the conversation a little bit on its head. I think we'll just go backwards here. We'll talk about like if the Cardinals are going to be able to survive this year with the guys that they have. But Micah Parsons yesterday traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, an interior defensive lineman. We talked about all year. Should the Arizona Cardinals have made the move for not just Micah? TJ Watt was semi-available. Trey Hendrickson was definitely available. And Micah Parsons was even more available than all of them. So we talked about this. I know there are some mixed reviews, but Clancy, you've kind of been firm on this. I'll let you do this one more time before the season starts. Did the Cardinals miss the boat on Micah Parsons?
No, especially at the time. Now, I was also the one, because people like to have receipts, and I stand by this. If Dallas offered Micah Parsons to the Arizona Cardinals for Marvin Harrison Jr. and a first at the end of last season, I would have taken it. Like, if you're looking at, because the construction of the roster was incomplete. You know, you had no idea what this was going to be. They added 4 pieces that equals the amount or close to what Micah's making a year. So they rebuilt their entire front instead of just trading for one dude and paying him all that cheese. You know, the Cardinals are in a good position, and yeah, I don't lose sleep over this at all.
Yeah, I thought Micah was going to be a Cowboy. I can't for the life of me figure out why, if you draft a player and he pans out to be the player that you wanted him to be, why you would trade him to another team in the NFC. It made zero sense to me. So I was of the essence that he was going to be a Cowboy. I don't think that the Cardinals missed out on this opportunity, though. I think, he was obviously looking for big money, a big deal, and he got it with the Green Bay Packers. And I think that, like Clancy said, they've got that within the price of 4 guys. So sometimes you don't need the, household pass rusher to get things done. Obviously, it's a luxury if you can have them, but they'll be able to get to the quarterback in different ways. And I don't think that, we could say 31 other teams would love to have Micah Parsons, but I just don't think that they're in a place where they needed Micah Parsons.
And the messed up part is, really quick, he'd fit great in Nick Rollis' system. in the very like fluid, everybody's playing in different positions. Doesn't really matter because if you're good, you're going to get to be put in the spots. It's not about the fit. The fit would have been great. He would have been an absolute terror. I'm sure Larry Fitzgerald would have given him number 11, even though Michael wouldn't have taken it. Like he would have retired an Arizona Cardinal if he came here. I don't doubt that. It's a perfect fit in that regard. And the Cardinals didn't need to do it. It's nice that they were able to. That shows the maturity of this organization with a 3-year hard reset, but they didn't need it. Of course you'd want him. Like Jamil said, 31 other teams want him. But, he didn't play all of last year. He didn't play all the games last year. He sat out all of camp. The ramp up to a new defense is going to be tough. Like Green Bay, it's not going to be like a set and forget. Hey, go to Yahoo Fantasy and pick up Green Bay's defense. They're going to be the number 1 defense in the NFL. They lost Alexander. Rashawn Gary's getting older. It's not like it's just going to magically work.
Yeah.
I would agree with a lot of the things you guys had said. However, here's why I think if the Cardinals would have done the exact same trade for Micah Parsons, I would have applauded the aggressiveness, but I would have said, damn, this feels a little reckless. There's a line that I think is aggressive, risky, and then reckless. I think the Packers have allowed themselves and have earned the right to be a reckless team because they've been a competent organization my entire life. It wasn't the 2 first-round picks. Forget about that. Bleep them picks, or Los Angeles Rams style. Holy hell, man. Giving a player who's not a quarterback $47 million a year, and I know people will say, no, the guaranteed money is $120 million. No, that's not actually true. Micah Parsons is going to see every dime of that contract because he's going to be there throughout the duration. Micah Parsons would have been the highest paid player on the Cardinals. He would have made more than Kyler. Kyler fell down another spot in the contract rankings for average annual value, and a quarterback did not get paid. That feels a little reckless to me, and I think I would have, to Clancy's point, who's been saying this for a couple of weeks now, and I didn't buy it in the beginning, but watching the preseason, I'm kind of there now. They don't have to make this deal. So let me phrase it like that. If it was the exact same deal, let's take out Kenny Clark and let's add Jordan Birch or Dalvin Thomas. I don't think you can trade Dalvin Thomas. I don't know how that works, but let's say it's Jordan Birch, 2 first-round picks and $47 million a year. I'm just curious to get your guys' opinion on this. Would you have still done it?
Yeah, if it was in the middle of the year, or if it was in the middle of the offseason. Not now. If you knew it was 2 firsts and a rookie, they would have probably asked for more. They probably would have asked for Darius Robinson. They would have asked for somebody. But if it was 2 firsts, if there was that package and you paying him that money, yeah, these next 2 years, you can do it. You'd have to restructure Kyler Murray's contract, which if he comes back, you're going to have to do anyway. Knock that cap number down. And if this was done immediately after the draft, of course you do this. But that's not the point. It's the timing of it. And the thought that Dallas was going to keep him anyway, like Jamil's right. It's like there's no rational world where he's not a Dallas Cowboy in week 1. There's no rational world. It doesn't make sense. But yes, I would have done it. For sure, I would have done it, even with the price tag.
Yeah. Someone tells me Jamil's going to be pro player here.
No, I listen. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say I would have done it. I think it's someone said it in the chat. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't know. I feel like the Cardinals are in a position where, not to say that Micah Parsons wouldn't elevate their defense, but they can go and get it done by committee. And that's okay to be in that position. An elite pass rusher, the likes of Micah Parsons and, the guys that we consider the elite guys, those are luxury guys. Every team doesn't have those guys. You look at the Giants, they have 3, maybe 2 of those guys, but they don't need Micah Parsons to get where they're going in their division. So, I would say yes, I would have done it if that was proposed, but I don't think they're feeling like they missed out, if that makes sense.
There's also the lingering question of, had they done this, the question would have been asked, if the Cardinals fall on their face this year, or it doesn't work out, or Kyler Murray isn't consistent again, that you kind of would have needed those picks to go get a quarterback this year. But with everything that's done, I'm not super surprised that this guy got traded. I have not wavered on this. Jerry Jones is a madman, and this year it just was a little different. So it's why I kept on saying, Monty, pick up the phone. You know what? I mean,
It's disgusting that he got traded. It's disgusting.
No. I'm not defending that he got traded. It's Jerry Jones. He hasn't made a smart move. All he does is wait till the last second to pay guys billions of dollars, get the publicity, I guess, from ESPN, raise the price of his team with the money that he can't go or that he can't take with him after he dies. Like it's absolutely crazy to me.
I think he's flirting on the and I hate to cut you off, but I think he's flirting on the side of, do I want to be a good businessman or do I want to win? And he's not of the essence. Like you would think he would have learned from the Saquon Barkley thing. I said that a long time ago. When you have when you have a generational player that has been drafted to your organization, they've done everything that you've asked of them to do, you pay those guys. Like, you don't let those guys walk out the door. It just doesn't make sense. Their defense is significantly worse without Micah Parsons on the field.
Yeah, huge for my fantasy football with drafting Dak Prescott. The big news for me. Now, I just did quick numbers via Michael Giannetti Spot Track. Budda Baker, Josh Sweat, Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell. And I'm adding I'm adding Josh Sweat's 2026 salary because it's the actual number it's going to be with the extension. $43 million this year combined. And you've completely reshaped the entirety of your team. That's 4 out of 11 starters. That's like 30-something%. Like, instead of one dude who's kind of positionless, that means you wouldn't have Calais. You probably would still have Calais. That means you wouldn't have Josh Sweat. You wouldn't have Dalvin Tomlinson. You may have not extended Budda Baker. Most likely you would have, but it puts everything into jeopardy, the balance of the entirety of the defense. So, again, it's easy hindsight now because it's been done. The Cardinals defense is done. These guys, there's only 11 spots, man, and there's like 17 dudes who can play.
Yeah.
You know, so this is a much better situation, in my opinion.
Do you guys think I want to continue to talk about Monty and he's either aggressiveness or lack thereof. Do you think Monty called? Do you think he made an offer?
No.
Or do you think he completely stayed out of it? Because I do think making a call at least allows you to think we can be better. But if he didn't make a call, then that means that he is like, our defensive line's fine. Like, we feel great about this. We're not spending the draft pick. Do you guys think he called?
I don't think he called. I think every GM knows what it takes to get a certain caliber player. I think if we're talking in terms of Monty Ossenfort and his track record and the tree that he comes up under, they don't make splashes when it comes to big time pass rushers like that. It's like I said, it's a defense by committee thing. Bend but don't break type of mentality. Get guys that can play in the system and roll like that. I don't even think I think he knew in the back of his mind what it would cost and what it looks like in the years to come, but I don't think he wasted his time in even trying to inquire about it.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry, continue.
Well, no, I mean, and he says every time, it's like, we're answering the phone. If it's ever happening around the draft, around the 4th overall pick, before they drafted Marv, he's like, we'll answer phone calls. I got no problem answering phone calls. It's the timing of it that supersedes all of it. It's not a good fit anymore. It doesn't matter about the money. Doesn't matter about anything else. They already did their work. If this was 2 months ago, we're having a different conversation. Like, if Jerry's like, yep, he's up for it 2 months ago. We're listening to trade offers. We're having a completely different conversation.
So with that being said, as we come to a close in this first segment here with 31 other people in the chat, let's make the proclamation now. Will the Cardinals at some point in this season regret not going after Micah, or is what they have perfectly fine and will we think about it once this year? Damn, I wish this team would have went after Micah Parsons. Or do you think I like what we have and that's okay to say that? Or do you think they're going to miss this guy? Clancy?
They love what they have.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. This is the new culture. I don't think, I know that we can ask it in so many different ways. Micah Parsons not being an Arizona Cardinal has zero downside with where they are now.
Mm. Yeah, they're focused on week 1. Like it's gone and it's done. It's not a topic. So I don't think that they're kicking themselves over this. I think if anything, it was a highlight of the day yesterday, and now they're focused on how to get the defense ready for week 1.
With the with that superstar off the market, we're turning our eyes to hopefully a budding superstar this year in Kyler Murray. it's maybe the last time we can get out our frustrations, our worries. Do we trust Kyler Murray going into the season? And what does he have to do to solidify everything to be the starting quarterback for this Cardinals team and potentially get a contract extension? Let's talk about that and much more next.
You know what Kyler Murray has? The same thing that this company's name is. Upside. Today's episode of Cardinal Squad Show is brought to you by Upside. Ben Garcia. That's called a fantastic, seamless adult transition into a live read. You still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now. Start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code touchdown and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can make up to $300 a year, man, just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought this was too good to be true. Truly, I did. And then I downloaded the app and it's completely legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out at any time to your bank account, PayPal, e-gift card, Amazon gift card, other brands. They've got options. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using the limited time promo code touchdown for a limited time 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's promo code touchdown. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
All right, let's keep the show rolling and let's talk about our guy Kyler Murray. It's not many more ways that we can say it, but I think it's a good conversation to have going into season week for the Arizona Cardinals. Flat out, where's your guys' temperature check with Kyler? Do you trust him this year to finally get it done in year 7? Is the light going to flick on? He's going to be more consistent. And what does Kyler got to do to maybe reach that mark? Is it maybe not try to make the splash play all the time? Maybe be willing to throw the ball out of bounds? Live to see another down, Jamil?
If we're talking in terms of what he has to do, it's got to be get out the gate fast. I mean, if you look at the schedule, the first couple of weeks of the season, he's going to play Spencer Rattler, Bryce Young, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones, and then you go Jordan Love before the bye week, right? So you would think that Kyler would be able to will his team to victories within the first, 7-8 weeks of the season. That's the biggest thing for me. And I know we saw it last year, they got out to a great start, but he has to be able to do that this year. And then post bye week, there cannot be a slump in the season. It has to be, you have to consistently be on the trajectory that this team is going to be a playoff team. If this team does not get into the playoffs, I'm a little worried about what else needs to be done, because like we've talked about so many times, on paper, this team looks better than a lot of teams when you stack them up.
Yeah. He's got to finish. I mean, that's it. This is perfect. Okay. The best thing for the Arizona Cardinals this year is not to have the easiest strength of schedule. It's to have the exact schedule that they have, because this is what roadmap they've been unable to complete. They can't get past Bowser, man. They can't get past the last boss, and the last boss is the last 6 weeks of the season. Yeah. So, of course, loaded up on the back end twice against the Rams, Atlanta, at Cincinnati, at Rams the last 2 weeks of the year. Give me the gauntlet to see what Kyler Murray is. This is the last shot, and I'll tell you what, you wanted to take more chances. He doesn't take chances. That's the thing. He'll airmail a couple balls, but he doesn't take chances, Ben. I want him to wait his progression an extra 3 seconds or whatever, second and a half, to find a dude chunk down the field instead of just dumping down to Trey McBride for 5 yards because he's open. Just because you can get to the sticks and move the drive doesn't mean that's the right option. When you have Marv, when you have Wilson, when you have Zay, and you have Dortch, you've got other options than just, that guy's open right now. That has to be the best option. The dump down nature can't be it anymore. You got to take chances. I'd rather him throw 3 or 4 more interceptions that'll yield 7 or 8 more touchdowns. I don't care. You got to take chances this year. It can't be as tight-knit. That's his biggest issue in Petzing's offense.
Maybe I would say, instead of live to see another down, Kyler, I think, panics a little bit too much. Maybe that's where I would go. Because I remember I spoke with, I forgot who it was, does the quarterback rankings, name's escaping me right now. Clancy, help me out here. Who does the quarterback rankings for the Athletic? What the heck is his name? Why am I spacing on it?
Come on, bro.
The Athletics quarterback rankings. I forgot who it was that Mike Sando. I spoke with Mike Sando on my own podcast. And as I struggled to get the full sentence out, I was talking about Kyler Murray's interceptions, and it felt like it's something that felt backbreaking every single one he threw. Kyler threw 11 interceptions last year. 10 of them were unequivocally his fault. And a lot of them came towards the red zone, swinging points the other direction. Immediately, the Kobe Bryant one comes to mind. Immediately, the two at home against the Seahawks come to mind. The Vikings one where he threw the ball, both of them were kind of bad interceptions. Kyler can't have the back-breaking interceptions that we've seen in big spots. And so the panic nature, I don't know what it is for him. That's got to come down. And as well as just be consistent. But guys, maybe you guys think differently than I do. And sometimes I come off as a skeptic or Mr. Negative. But it's 7 years now. I'm not holding my breath that now this year, Kyler Murray's going to change who he is and halfway through the season, not fall off a cliff. I'm willing to be wrong there, but it's 7 years. I've seen the peaks and I've seen the valleys. At some point, that's got to be somewhere consistent. And it can happen. I'm not saying it can't. But for me, that temperature check there, that it's just got to be more consistent for me. Otherwise, we're talking about a team that's got all the pieces next year outside of a quarterback. And that means you're picking 15th, 16th, 17th every year. And it's going to be tough for you to replace that guy.
So from an interception standpoint and a touchdown ratio, what do you see as Kyler taking the next step? What do those numbers look like?
So obviously I have Kyler's numbers out in front of me. Last year he had 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. A lot of those interceptions came at the second half of the season and when he was kind of giving away games. It's not necessarily Kyler throwing interceptions directly to the other team. It's the timing of them are always awful. And in the beginning of that Seahawks game, back-to-back drives, interceptions, and it's directly to the other team. The Kobe Bryant interception where he flipped it over Michael Wilson's head, that game was still close. It was winnable. That was a 14-point swing. They were on the other side of the 50, storming in Seahawks territory. Right. The Patriots one that got called back that everyone remembers was a phantom face mask call, and he just threw it directly to the other team. And that game was within reach too. The Panthers game threw an interception directly to the front pylon where no one was. It was just directly to the other team, and they had a chance to win that game. For me, it's the timing of the interceptions. You can throw a pick in the first quarter. If that's your only one, fine. But we can't keep doing the back-to-back interceptions to start the drive, throwing interceptions to Kobe Bryant, giving away the Vikings game on the road where if you win that game, you're in the playoffs. It's too many times. The only one last year that wasn't his fault is where he threw it off Trey McBride's head. The timing of them are always really bad, which leads me to believe he panics a little bit trying to make a bigger play. That can't happen this year. And honestly, I kind of want to see him throw more than 22 passing touchdowns. Yeah. I'm not asking for 35, but I am asking to get near 30, 27, 28. Like, this is a good receiving core. And I'm done blaming Drew Petzing. So I understand I can be Mr. Negative, but it's year 7. I got to see a different style of Kyler this year. Yeah. And I mean, I'm the most optimistic that it'll happen, but still a little worried, Clancy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing, like, and this isn't an excuse, or it's more of a reason and kind of in a gray area. I mean, they do run the ball around the goal line a lot. Like, he's not throwing the ball around the goal line a lot. So if they get close, that's one thing. But yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, but I could argue that this is the time where he can throw interceptions if he's taking chances because the defense is so much better. Like, it's a balance of both. Like, there are teams like, you know what your leeway is when you have a defense like a big brother to back you up. And this defense is exponentially better than it was. But I agree. I mean, he's got his airmail throws. He has a couple not so great decisions that he makes a year, but that's not just him. Like, that's a quarter. Like, I think that it's difficult to compare the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray specifically to other quarterbacks and other organizations, but you have to there. Just as a quarterback avatar, everybody makes bad throws. They're human beings. It's hard to play quarterback. Okay. I'm not saying that as an excuse for him. I'm saying that as just a byproduct. And yeah, his hit closer to home because he's the quarterback of the team that we cover. But like, I know that the one against Seattle, the pick six, really just sticks in your mind. That's the confirmation bias about this, him making bad throws. He makes a couple really bad throws a year, but it's not by and large part of his MO. Yeah. You know, he's not like Matthew Stafford, like hucking it, try to get inside like a, you know, like threading a needle between, like, he's not a gunslinger, you know, like I do think, you know, his ceiling isn't realized as much as it should be. So I agree with the touchdowns, but he's such a weird dude when it comes to numbers. It doesn't really matter. It's going to come down to winning games in 2025.
Got to win games, man.
Got to win.
And he's got to, like I said, he's got to become that game manager that I've said a couple, you know, shows ago. Like, I think managing the game and not putting the team in bad situations will go a long way, especially post bye week. The games get tougher. There's more on the line. You've got to be able to just manage whatever the situation is. Be okay with getting the 3 points. Like, you know, you just want to see him develop from that standpoint. I know it's year 7 and you're losing hope, but I do think situationally there is room for everyone to grow in terms of like protecting the football.
Another thing, and I can't believe I missed this, and I should have absolutely said this, from 8-Bit Digital. This guy's got to use his legs. Kyler Murray last year had 572 rushing yards, and we talked about the other day, 95 of those came in 2 games. That cannot be Kyler Murray's MO. If Kyler is going to be, I think, that elite level player that I think he shows flashes of being, I think you're looking at those 2020 stats where he nearly threw for 4,000 yards and had 800 rushing yards on the ground. Now, listen, 800 rushing yards is a lot, but can we get to 700? Can we get a couple of cheap? Can it be easier on offense because you have this whole game plan planned out and Kyler breaks one for 60 yards and you're able to put some plays in your back pocket because Kyler bailed you out? It's the over-the-top receiver effect, like with Tyreek Hill for years or Deshaun Jackson, where it's just cheap touchdowns. Can Kyler buy you cheap, long plays or touchdowns with his legs? And I think we can all agree the dude's just better when they're moving the pocket, when they're moving him, when he's on the run, because he doesn't have to be as accurate then. It was the Lamar Jackson thing for years where he didn't have to be super accurate because he's running around the pocket and linebackers and cornerbacks are cheating up so that he doesn't blow past them and he's throwing to wide open receivers. So that as well is a massive thing for Kyler this year, Clancy.
Yeah. I mean, it's for me, it's more timing, but yeah, numbers like attempts. Yeah. Like the gotta have it plays they don't have. Like there were a couple, the San Francisco one was one. I don't know if it was a broken play or, you know, an edge rusher didn't set the edge, but like, I mean, it can't be, this is actually kind of funny. Those long runs and then his inability to run is kind of the personification of him as a quarterback. It's either home run or it's not super effective. And he's very good in space. He knows his body type. He knows when to get down. He knows when to go out of bounds. He knows when to take extra chances. We just need to see more of it baked into like a competency part of the offense and not just like a, you know, maybe that's on him. Maybe that's on Petzing or both. But yeah, I mean, that's,
we talked about that first 6-game trip, and I want to revisit this really quickly. The Cardinals got Spencer Rattler, Bryce Young, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones in the first 6 games of the season. We talked about him getting off to a fast start. How many of those games do the Cardinals definitely have the better quarterback in? I could say those again. Spencer Rattler, Bryce Young, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones.
I would say all of them besides Brock Purdy. I would say he should be able to win all of those games. Now, we know it's any given Sunday. A quarterback can come out and, you know, torch the defense, but like on paper, obviously Brock Purdy and the success that he has had kind of will outshine what Kyler Murray has done. But outside of that, like those are games that Kyler Murray should put in the bag as far as like, I'm going to outplay these guys and get my team a W. So I would say majority of them besides one.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to like, they've got to get to a point where opposing defenses and defensive coordinators are watching extra film on Kyler Murray to try to contain him. And they're not doing that now. I mean, that's where you need to get to. However that looks, whether that means him throwing the ball more, him running the ball more, whatever it is, he's a very interesting type where, there's no fluidity between his run game and his pass game, really, just like the offense kind of as a whole. There's no cohesion, really. It's a good run game. It's a pretty good pass game, but the marrying of the two is what's going to take it to the next level. But yeah, so I think it's probably Purdy. Purdy's got a higher floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would agree. I probably, unfortunately, agree with that. But I think both guys at their best. I think Kyler probably surpasses that. The problem is always getting him there. This is my last question about Kyler. We'll move on. I know we're running out a little bit of time here because this is like the underlying factor that, like, if this happens, yeah, duh, this can't happen. But how about we phrase it like this? If Kyler misses X amount of games, he's not the quarterback of the team next year. Like, if he pulls a hammy, he's out for 2 games. Like, that happens. Soft tissue injury. I'm not going to hold that against him. But if Kyler has a high ankle sprain and misses 6 weeks, is he still the quarterback of this team next year?
No.
If they win.
Well, okay.
It's only going to come down to wins and losses. That's it. In my opinion. That's it.
If they win 10 games, if they win with Jacoby?
Yeah. Say they go 3-3. Say Kyler Murray misses time after the bye week and they're 6-1 going into the bye week. And they lose a couple when he's out, and then he comes back. If they lose a couple when he's out, he comes back and they win games when he's healthy again. That solidifies him even more, which is weird.
Okay, I see that.
But yeah, I mean, if he misses 6 games, I don't see them going 3-3 with Jacoby Brissett. So it's kind of not exactly the same thing.
I think if Kyler has an extended injury like a high ankle sprain or a hamstring where he misses over 4 weeks, I think at that point, you kind of turn it over to Jacoby and you start to plan for the future. In my eyes, I don't know that you can fully commit yourself to saying next year will be the year. Then, I think you start to plan for, okay, let's protect ourselves now and move forward, as opposed to we're going to get our guy back and roll again.
It's an interesting conversation, man, because it's something we didn't hit on, but he's had injuries in the past before. One of the things that people sometimes will say is that maybe that hamstring was bothering him in 2020 when he missed those couple of games when when Colt McCoy came in and went 2-1 without him, and then Kyler Murray really fell off a cliff. They lost a game to the lowly Lions that year. So just a quick temperature check on Kyler Murray. Let's also talk about this. I saw this on another show today, and I'll give the credit after the break, but I thought it was interesting. What kind of pressure are the Arizona Cardinals under this year? There's the pressure of win the Super Bowl or bust, make the playoffs or bust, look really competent, or any of the other things. So let's talk about what kind of pressure the Arizona Cardinals are on, and let's do it next. But first, I got a special request for you guys. The Locked On Podcast Network is asking you guys. We want to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thanks for helping us better our shows, as well as today's show. I promise you this is the last one. Game time. NFL season is back, and honestly, there's nothing better than being in the stadium surrounded by fans cheering on your team. But let's be honest, getting tickets can be a hassle. Between queues, login screens, and prices, jumping at checkout, it's frustrating. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives you the advantage, back to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and be at the best price, plus all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. One of the things I love to do is wait till the game time wait till it gets a little bit closer to game time. Those ticket prices tend to fall. Also with Game Time, you can see where you're going to sit before you buy the tickets. It's one of my favorite apps to use and the only ticketing app I use. So download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code LOCKDOWNNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKED NFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go download Game Time today. All right, let's talk about the type of pressure that the Arizona Cardinals are under. I was watching my guy Esper today on PHNX Sports, and he had kind of mentioned some of the pressure that's going on around in Arizona sports, but it got me thinking about what kind of pressure the Arizona Cardinals are under this season. There's the pressure to win the Super Bowl. That's probably the Bills, the Ravens, maybe even the Packers now. Pressure to win a playoff game or to make another one, or to win a playoff game and then maybe get to the conference championship game. There's pressure to make the playoffs. What kind of pressure are the Arizona Cardinals under this year? Is it just be competent, Clancy? Sounds like you're muted. Jamil, take over for him.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the Cardinals are under a great amount of pressure, but not from a standpoint of as a whole with like the whole league. I think within their division, if you look at this division, the NFC West, the Cardinals should be challenging the Rams to win this division. The Cardinals are the team that has and we know, the 49ers, but there's so many question marks around whether Christian McCaffrey's healthy and who's going to be healthy at receiver for the 49ers. The Seahawks, Sam Darnold, new quarterback. They're going to take some time to figure things out. The Rams and the Cardinals are the one team that may have added a piece here and there, but on paper, they have the same squad. So I think there's a lot of pressure in terms of like, if they don't win the division, if they come in third or fourth in the division, it's kind of, I don't know where you want to go from there, So I would say the pressure is pretty high.
Yeah. I mean, like one of the biggest fallacies, in my opinion, of thinking is Super Bowl or bust. There are like 4 teams that can win the Super Bowl. Like, let's be honest. In a one-game format, I know there's any given Sunday. I know there are runs. Obviously the Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald was coined one of the worst teams to ever make the Super Bowl, and they should have won it. So I'm not saying there's not outliers, but dude, like, let's be real here. There's very few quarterbacks who can win a Super Bowl. There's like 5. Okay. And when it comes down to this, it's you make the playoffs or you move on from Kyler Murray. I think that's pretty much it. Unless it's like a 10-win, 14 teams make the playoffs, man. Almost half the damn NFL makes the playoffs. Okay. So it's not like, it's like the NBA. It's like, man, if you don't make the playoffs a few years in a row, even with the play-in, it's like, well, you're getting fired or they're moving off of stars or whatever it is. So it's playoffs. It's 10 wins. We've discussed it a lot. And luckily for the Cardinals, they have a schedule where they can stack wins early if they take care of business and just kind of coast and ride the coattails. Hopefully you win some games late and then you can get to that double-digit win marker. But like pressure, this is why I struggle with this. If you told me Jonathan Gannon would win Coach of the Year and the Cardinals won the division, or the Cardinals won 7 games and Jonathan Gannon got fired, I would take the first one. I would guess the first one happened. Kyler Murray top 10 MVP, or they move on from Kyler Murray. I don't see a world with all the concrete things that have happened that's going to happen. Of course, there could be egg on my face at the end. I don't rationally, I can't compute that rationally that would happen. So there's pressure, but they're equipped to handle it this year.
I think a lot of what you guys said was really interesting. The one thing that I think really stood out to me is like, Jamil, when you said the Cardinals are under a lot of pressure, well, I guess pressure obviously to get into the playoffs, but is that more on Kyler or is that the team as a whole? Because like, is there immense amount of pressure on Jonathan Gannon and Monty Osborne? Like if they don't make the playoffs this year, they're not losing their jobs. So is that more focused on Kyler, the defense, or
I would say
the coaches?
I would say it's Kyler Murray, because obviously the play of Kyler Murray is going to dictate whether or not this team goes to the playoffs. So yes, he's feeling I don't know if he's feeling it, but we're going to say Kyler Murray's under pressure, but that's really code for if Kyler Murray plays well, the Cardinals are in a good spot. Everybody gets taken care of. If Kyler Murray does not play well, the Cardinals are not going to have a good year. That's just a reality of it. They have to have solid quarterback play in order to get to where they're going. So it's a little bit of both. It's like we can say the Cardinals are under pressure. That means Kyler Murray's under pressure. Or we can say Kyler Murray's under pressure. That means the Cardinals are under pressure because of Kyler Murray.
Yeah, it starts into the quarterback always in the NFL. Like that's not like a new thing. So the pressure is, it starts and ends with if Kyler Murray can elevate and have more peaks than valleys this year.
Also, let's say the Cardinals, because I think we would all agree that the Cardinals are going to make the Cardinals need to make the playoffs this year. Otherwise, jobs could roll, whatever. Kyler Murray could be gone, whatever. What if they make the playoffs and they look awful again? Like, there's the caveat there, because that's right in the middle, right? Because if they lose a playoff game, they lose on a game-winning kick, or they lose on a last-minute drive, or they lose by 7 points and they fail to score, is that still considered a successful season if they're the 6th seed, the 7th seed, and they just get dome rocked by whoever it is they play? Is that okay?
Dude, rainbows and butterflies strewn from the ground in the middle of a game, and aliens could attack. Dude, there's so many different things. Like, it's not as simple as that. It's not as simple as that. If they loot, okay, can we put a moratorium on a 2021 playoff game with a terrible head coach and a not so great roster quickly? They didn't lose by 100. Okay, Kyler Murray had one terrible pick six, and that kind of was the flashbulb memory that people have from that game. They played well for the majority of the year that year. Yes, they were leading the division with 6 weeks to play or 5 weeks to play, and they ended up not winning the division. Okay, all of those things are true. And we're not talking about the same Arizona Cardinals team. Factually, we're not talking about it. There's no direct correlative except for the quarterback, but the quarterback is playing behind a much better offensive line with much better skill position players and a much better defense, a much better head coach, a better special teams coordinator, a better DC, a better OC. It's not the same. So it's not easy just to say if they lose a playoff game, it's over. If they win a playoff game, it's not. Maybe they win a playoff game and it still doesn't work with Kyler Murray. That's probably not going to happen. But say say that they win the division, they host a playoff game and they win by a field goal and then get smoked the next week. It's they got smoked the next week and didn't win a Super Bowl. So you're moving on from Kyler Murray. It's not that simple.
Well, I do think it's more simplistic than you're making it out to be, because if they want to, let's say, if they got a home playoff game because they won the division, I think the likelihood of them getting smoked in a playoff, I think it's all about how Kyler Murray looks. If Kyler Murray looks bad in that game, then we're having issues. That way, when you say rainbows and butterflies and aliens could all show up at the same time, I don't think that is as clear of something that could happen than Kyler Murray looking awful in a playoff game.
What if he looks bad and they win? Hey, what if they look bad? What if he looks bad and they win? Do you hold that against them?
Yes, it depends how he looks the next week.
That's dumb.
Carson Palmer was not great for 3 quarters of that Green Bay Packers game. He threw a ball to the other team, but thankfully it popped over someone's head and Michael Floyd caught it. And then Larry Fitzgerald took a ball 80 yards for a touchdown. He didn't look great. And the very next game, he didn't it could happen. So, although I don't think it's likely, it could happen. It is a possibility.
Okay. This is what.
Wait a second, Jamil, really quickly. Clancy, he finished 4th in MVP voting. He wasn't over the hill. He was pretty good.
They had to throw 2 Hail Marys to get that game into overtime, dude.
This is what I'll say. If we're talking about the Cardinals get to the playoffs, right, then we're going to assume that Kyler Murray had a solid year. I guess we could all agree on that, right? Yeah. He didn't have a bad year. He had a solid year.
Yeah.
They get to the playoffs and they just completely get dome rocked. I think it now turns to, is it a coordinator's fault? I think that's where the blame starts to go when you get in the playoffs. The regular season, you kind of stick to, the player didn't do this, that. When you get to the playoffs and it's all on the line and you completely just drop the ball in terms of producing in a playoff game, that is when the focus starts to shift to, is it one of the coordinators or is it coaching? Because your game plan is so serious in terms of the playoffs. So I don't know. We'll see, man. It's I know they got to win week 1. Okay. Let's just say that. Let's say they got to win week 1.
All right. So I'm going to ask you, because, I'm going to ask you 2 scenarios. Okay. They make the playoffs. Okay. Which one would you rather, which one do you think Kyler Murray would come back more percentage wise than them letting him go? He plays terrible and they win, or he has 350 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns, and they lose?
350 all-purpose, they lose.
Muted. This is my best version of you. It's my best version of you.
I was saying I would agree. The second one.
Wait, so you bring him back if they lose and he throws for 400 yards or 300 yards or whatever?
Yeah,
yes,
because he should he showed up in a big game.
Do it.
That means he showed up in a big game.
I disagree.
Oh,
really?
Wins and losses, man. That's all that matters this year is wins and losses.
All right.
Well, wins are not a QB stat. Mina Kimes.
Oh God. I like Mina Kimes, but wins are definitely a quarterback stat. Do you want to know why? Because all the good ones have wins, and the ones that don't freaking suck. It's always been the case. It's always been the case.
And that's analysis.
Do you want to know who has a lot of quarterback wins? Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees. Who's in it right now? Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. They all win a lot of games. You want to know who doesn't? Freaking Jay Cutler.
Ask Aaron Rodgers if wins are a QB stat. With all the playoff
the guy that goes on darkness retreats. I'm not looking for him for analysis.
the guy whose special teams gave up a touchdown against the 49ers, which kept them from going to the NFC Championship game. I think his last year in Green Bay, or second to last year. I mean,
all right, let's wrap up the show before people think Clancy and I hate each other again. And just so we're clear, we do. Let's gear up here. Clancy's going to do a prize picks. Yeah, you're going to do a prize picks sponsorship here in just 1 second and pay some bills for us. But with that being said, can Jonathan Gannon win Coach of the Year next year? Will he win Coach of the Year? And we're doing that and moving on to it next.
This episode of the Cardinals Squad Show is brought to you by one of my favorite sponsors, Prize Picks. Daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason's already heating up, and college football isn't far behind. So whether you've got your eye on big-name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. They've got these things they call weekly flyers that are max discounts, okay? Avery Johnson and Dak Prescott, their more or less line is 0.5 pass yards. So it's a gimme. They're kicking off the 2025 season with a little gift. They've got a flex play option as well. That's a total game changer. Even when one of your picks misses, you still double your money. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
See, that's some real quarterbacking there, Clancy. Being thrown in a chaos situation where I can't get to my own ad read, where you have to step in. That's what Kyler Murray needs to do. Even if this podcast went off the rails, we'd still keep you here if he did something like that. Let's move on to Jonathan Gannon, Coach of the Year, supremacy. Let's just talk about it like this. What would the circumstances have to be for Jonathan Gannon to be the Coach of the Year? Because oftentimes, man, unfortunately, it's a lot about narratives. Like if Ben Johnson and the Bears sneak into the playoffs and win 9 games or 10 games, very good chance they give it. It hardly ever goes to actually the best coach. So what would it have to be like for Jonathan Gannon to win Coach of the Year? Clancy, you've talked about this multiple times, so I'll leave it up to you to start first.
So, Jamil, you were there when Vrabel won, right?
That was.
You've got to have, like, it's a perfect mix. Like, the perfect Coach of the Year candidate is a guy who's never won it before on an up-and-coming team that surprised people. The Cardinals would surprise people if they won 12 games this year, I think, by and large. So I think that's the number. It's a regular season award, which I don't think it should be. I think all awards should be regular and postseason. But, you know, that's just me. I think 12 wins, but if you told me he was getting fired, you told me he was winning Coach of the Year, I would say he's winning Coach of the Year if I had to pick one of the two. He's a lot closer to that. All he's done is incrementally get better, just like this roster and team. So I expect him to take a leap as a head coach as well this year.
So you can only win the award once?
No, but I mean, like, everybody, it's the like Andy Reid can win it every damn year. They just don't play the Lamar Jackson effect.
Clancy's right, yeah.
Okay, I'm just asking before I give my answer. Could Jonathan Gannon win it? Yes, he could. I think that if they win, let's call it 11 games, Jonathan Gannon's going to have a great chance at winning Coach of the Year. I was in Tennessee when Mike Vrabel won it. I think that the competition is possibly Mike Vrabel winning Coach of the Year with the New England Patriots. So, but yes, he has an opportunity to win it. This is the year in which, if they get it done, and it doesn't even have to be I'm not saying get it done in terms of a Super Bowl, but produce wins, 10, 11 wins. I think you have to look at him as the Coach of the Year, given the rebuilding the roster, kind of reshaping what the Cardinals have looked like, and progressively, more wins. I know, we wanted more wins last year, but if he comes out and he wins 11 games, the man is Coach of the Year, and that's what it is.
You think 11 is it? Especially with, say they start 6-1 and go into the bye week, and then they win 5 games the rest of the, I think they got to finish strong. If they've got to be win loss, 2 wins, 1 loss throughout the year, instead of just winning a bunch and then coasting at the end, because they're going to remember what happens last, right?
Yeah, so maybe it's not 11. Maybe it's a 12. But that's a 12, 13 wins is it's a lot of wins in the NFL. So let's put it out there right now. They win 13 games. Like, the world's going to be in awe of the Cardinals. But
they could be the 1 seed if they win 13 games.
100%.
It's going to be super incestuous in the NFC this year with wins and losses. Like, nobody's going to win 14 or 15 games this year, I don't think.
Yeah, 100%. 11 wins will get them in the playoffs, and I think if they're playing well, you look at Jonathan Gannon as being the Coach of the Year.
Wouldn't the only way Jonathan Gannon win it is if they win the NFC West? Because then the argument is immediately like, well, he's not even the best coach in his division.
Well, yeah.
But if they
win 12 games to win the NFC West, I think it goes hand in hand. I mean, they're going to have to beat San Francisco twice. They're going to have to beat the Rams at least once, and they'll have to beat Seattle twice, I would assume, to get to 12.
Let's see it like this, because I've been the one that has said, and Clancy's right, this is a 1-2% chance that if the season falls on its head and the Cardinals, don't figure it out, they win 4 games, like, guys could be fired. Like, I've been the one that has said that before, but it's probably not going to happen. If he wins Coach of the Year, how far does that extend his leash with Michael Bidwell? Like, let's say next year they fall back, they have a bad season, but they look back at that Coach of the Year and they're like, you can't fire this guy. He just won Coach of the Year. How much longer does he establish himself in Arizona if he wins that?
Cliff Kingsbury got a 5-year extension and didn't win jack. Okay, that's just a fact.
That's true.
Listen, I don't care what happens unless they win 7 games this year. He's getting a contract extension at the end of this year.
Yeah.
You're not going to sitting duck him in his 4th year. Like, everybody's getting paid if they win 12 games this year. Kyler Murray is getting a massive extension with a restructure to be able to backload it so they can sign more players. Like, that's it. He's getting an extension no matter what. If he's back as a head coach next year, he's getting an extension, in my opinion. Right, Jamil? I mean, that's kind of, you don't ever want to have a sitting duck head coach.
No, 100%. I'm not looking at Jonathan Gannon as like he's on this, slippery slope. Like this guy is, he should be getting extended. Granted, got to win games this year, but I don't think that he's in that position of like, we're moving on from this guy, or we're gonna, think about what our next move is. I think he's going to be there. The first people that'll go will be coordinators before him.
Yeah. I mean, you could be looking at Jonathan Gannon and 2 brand new coordinators for different reasons this year, with Nick Rowles going to be a head coach and Drew Petzing going elsewhere. Hey, Darren, I think you're the one. Darren, he went to Thailand, right? Cliff, he just bleeped off and went to Thailand, got a contract extension, got fired. And he's like, I'm out. Darren does my research for me. There's a couple dudes that watch Locked On Cardinals that are happy to correct me when I don't want to do the research. They do it for me.
You didn't know that Cliff Kingsbury, him and his, like, I don't know, his girl, I think it was his girlfriend at the time, went to Thailand. You didn't remember?
I was either Thailand or the Philippines. I can't remember. I know it was in that part of the world.
Good for him.
Yeah, just getting paid 25 mil, just in the bank, no socks, just living the life.
Hey.
Has there ever been anyone that has failed up more in the last 10 years in football than Cliff Kingsbury?
Oh, I'm sure.
They're touting him. They're touting this guy like an offensive wizard because of one good season. Oh, Steve Keim's a good one too. That's a really good one.
Was the worst GM during his entire tenure,
dude,
statistically.
Jamil, you want to tell us who the worst GM is that you ever played with?
I do not. Nope. I do not.
You're never going to get that. Why do you even ask?
I'll ask him after the show. I'm sure hey, really, this is my final question. If Jonathan Gannon wins Coach of the Year, where will that put him in the rankings of the best head coaches in Arizona Cardinals history? Like, you got Bruce Arians, you got Ken Whisenhunt in there. I think Jonathan Gannon's there as well. Where would you guys put him? And Ken Whisenhunt wasn't even great.
I mean, and there's a bunch of old heads in this chat that are gonna be like, well, what about the guy from 1946? It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's back when there were leather helmets.
Yeah. When they were in Chicago. Yeah. Bruce Arians won a Coach of the Year, right? I think he won in 2015. And that was,
he won 2 of them. Well, one with a different team, but one with the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's right. When he was interim. I don't know. Let's say top 10 and we'll go from there. Okay. Like, it's not difficult. It's not difficult to get there. That's like saying, where's Kyler Murray in the rankings of top quarterbacks in the history of the Arizona Cardinals? Top 5. Yeah. He's top 5. He hadn't done jack. It's like, it's not hard. Ask Larry Fitzgerald how many quarterbacks he had to play with that are doing car washes now.
We got Kurt Warner, Neil Lomax. I think Kyler's.
Carson,
Matt Leinart.
I put Carson ahead of Kyler.
Carson. That's right. That's right. The old head that somehow made it to an NFC Conference Championship game is the fourth. Getting fourth in the MVP votings. Yeah. He did have a really good coach. That would probably be the best coach.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I guess you put him in the top 3.
It's just a fun exercise. That's what I do. I throw fun thoughts at you guys, and you guys tell me it's stupid.
Let's let him get there first. Let's have a winning season with him first, and then we'll start to crown.
All right. That is all we have for you guys today on this edition of the Locked On Cardinals Squad Show. We appreciate you guys being here, everyone in the chat. Don't forget, it's another big moment on Locked On. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside 2-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Hawley, and Locked On's local experts, a college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. We appreciate you guys being here. Regularly scheduled programming next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. And then whenever time the Arizona Cardinals game ends on Sunday, just a little bit after that. For Jamil, Clancy, myself, everyone in the chat, we appreciate you guys being here. We will see you guys next